I will be sharing with you my experience traveling from the Philippines to Thailand. This trip took place in August 2022 when almost all of the COVID-related travel restrictions have been lifted by the Thai government. I will start with the airport ground experience in Manila and end with the Thai immigration in Bangkok. I am flying with Cebu Pacific, a Philippines-based low-cost carrier. My flight was scheduled to depart from Manila NAIA Terminal 3 at around 5:10 a.m. What I like about this schedule is that you're not going to be stuck in traffic on your way to the airport in Manila, and that there won't be a lot of people at the airport too because there are not much flights during this time. So for international trips, my rule of thumb is to arrive at the airport 3 to 4 hours before my flight. So I arrived at NAIA Terminal 3 at around 2 a.m. When you reach the terminal building, there's already a queue outside an initial security check to go inside the airport building. I got inside the terminal building at around 2:08 a.m. and proceeded to fall in line to drop my checked baggage. So whenever possible, I check in online for my flights because if I don't have a checked bag, I can just go straight to security and immigration. And if I do have checked baggage, like on this trip, the line for baggage drop is much shorter than the line for the physical check-in counters. Cebu Pacific's counter staff asked me for 3 things. So my passport, my vaccination certificate, and my address in Thailand, which is the hotel that I will be staying at. So this step, which consists of falling in line for the baggage drop, the actual baggage drop, the airline checking your travel requirements, took less than 15 minutes. So at around 2:22 a.m., I already started falling in line for the Philippine immigration and final security check. The Philippine immigration officer asked me for 3 things: my passport, my boarding pass, and my Philippine Bureau of Immigration departure card, which you can get either from your airline's check-in counters or by the entrance of the immigration screening area. The immigration officer proceeded to ask where I was going, what the purpose of my trip was, how long I'd be staying in my destination, and what my current job is and where I worked. So the officer seemed satisfied. They stamped my passport, handed over my documents back to me, and immediately I proceeded to the final security check. So the security officers will ask you to take off your jacket, your shoes, all your accessories, to empty out your pockets, and take your laptop out of your bag if you have one. And then put your stuff on trays for x-ray screening. Together, Philippine immigration and the final security check took only 15 minutes. So by 2:37 a.m., I was already done with all my pre-boarding activities. So that was very fast, the major advantage of taking very early morning flights. So this gave me around 1.5 hours before my flight would start boarding at supposedly 4:10 a.m. So while waiting to board, now is probably a good time to talk about the current travel requirements to Thailand as of this video. Depending on your nationality, you might need a visa to enter Thailand. But if you're a Filipino entering Thailand from the Philippines, the only requirements are 1. Your passport, and 2. Your COVID-19 vaccination certificate if you are vaccinated, or a negative antigen or RT-PCR test result issued within 72 hours before your departure if you're unvaccinated. Travel medical insurance is no longer required by the Thai government to enter Thailand, but may or may not be required by the Philippine Bureau of Immigration if you're a Filipino traveling overseas. Whether required or not, I think traveling with insurance is the smart thing to do. And that's where the sponsor of this video comes in, Ms. Sheilla Capuchino of Insurance Manila PH. I will be staying here in Thailand for 3 weeks. Yung binayaran ko is just less than 2,000 pesos. So you can get a plan that covers emergency medical expenses up to 3.5 million pesos. Covered din dito yung COVID. Meron din silang 24-hour emergency medical assistance. Kung ma-cancel man, ma-delay, or ma-postpone yung trip ko, covered din siya ng travel medical insurance. Kung ma-delay, masira, mawala yung baggage nyo, i-cover din siya ng insurance. So weighing things, 2,000 pesos na hindi ko na makikita ulit, pero will give me peace of mind na ma-hospital man ako, mawala ng gamit, ma-cancel yung trip, okay lang kasi mababayaran ako. Or meron akong 2,000 pesos, paano ko pagkakasyahin sa ospital, sa nawalang gamit, or sa mga non-refundable hotel and flight bookings kung ma-cancel yung trip ko. It was kind of easy for me to decide. So if you also want peace of mind when you travel, all for a small amount, please get in touch with Ms. Sheilla Capuchino from Insurance Manila PH. Here are the ways in which you can reach her at lalagay ko rin sa description box. Now, after spending 1.5 hours at the airport, it's time for boarding. So boarding was delayed and kind of chaotic. So I will be talking about this in more detail and my overall experience flying from Manila to Bangkok via Cebu Pacific and my detailed flight review. Going back, boarding, walking, entering the plane. Sit down, take off. Whoosh. So during the flight, the cabin crew gave us a TM6 immigration form, or the Thailand Arrival and Departure Card. From what I understand, Thai immigration uses this to keep track of foreigners coming in and out of the country. It asks for your personal information and trip details. After about 3 hours of flying, finally we arrive at Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi International Airport. After deplaning, pagkababa ng aeroplano, just follow the signs that point to the arrivals area. Mind you, this is a big airport. Be prepared to walk a lot. So upon getting to the arrivals immigration area, assuming you are not Thai, just look for the counters that say foreign passports. So the Thai immigration officer asked me for 3 things. My passport, the TM6 or Thai immigration form that was given to us on the plane earlier, and my boarding pass. I was actually surprised that the immigration officer did not ask for my vaccination certificate. So I'm assuming that it's been coordinated between immigration and the airline, because the airline would probably not allow me to board my flight if I did not satisfy all the Thailand travel entry requirements. Then after checking my documents, the Thai immigration officer asked me for the purpose of my trip, where I'd be staying, and for how long. After that, they asked me to have my fingerprints scanned, all 10 fingers, and to have my photo taken for their system. Once satisfied, he stamped my passport and I can enter Thailand. So for Philippine passport holders, we are allowed to enter Thailand for tourism purposes without a visa for up to 30 days. And that's it. Now it's time to explore Thailand. If you like this video or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Doing so may help this video reach more people who need this information. Let me know in the comments what you think about this experience and if you're going to Thailand soon too. Again, this is Ronipe and I'll see you again in another video.